Fala pessoal, de boa, continuando a nossa gameplay do Starfield de onde paramos. E bom, para encerrar ali pelo menos a parte das missões secundárias aqui de Neon, a gente agora vai entrar nessa ala médica aqui, certo? E vamos conversar com o próprio dono daqui, que é um médico, para iniciar mais uma missão aqui secundária que a gente tem na cidade. Esse aqui vai ser o último vídeo pra gente encerrar com elas.
Oh my goodness, another poor soul. All right, tell me what happened to you. Is it an Aurora overdose? Something else, perhaps?
You don't rat me out to anyone, right?
Unfortunately, yes. You see, the more Aurora that a user absorbs, the more resistance their body builds up to its active ingredients. That means the user needs larger and larger doses in order to feel its full effect. Eventually, the doses get so incredibly large, the user's nervous system simply can't handle the overload. That's a very wise choice. Since you're clearly a first-time visitor to Reliant Neon, I'd love to offer you a free checkup, but I'm afraid I'm dangerously low on supplies. I can assure you it isn't by choice. You see, I'm a bit at odds with the current administrator of Neon. His drug is turning the streets into a graveyard, and he doesn't seem to care. We've argued about it on more than one occasion, and all he's done is try to persuade me to quit. Thinning out my supply chain is his newest tactic. I've spoken to the people at Reliant Medical Corporate, I've talked to the Freestar Rangers, I've even gone to the Freestar Collective Council. Every answer is always the same. We're working on it. It's corruption at the highest levels. Ugh. So aggravating. Then you understand what I'm up against. At this point, I've resorted to asking anyone that has a ship registered outside of the Voli system to bring me medical supplies. I pay them for the supplies, of course, but it's the only way I can sneak them past Bayou's people at the spaceport. Now, if there's anything else I can do for you, anything at all, you just let me know. Well, it's completely dependent upon how long the user's been addicted. People have been using for, say, 2 years or less. I've been able to put through a full detoxification program successfully. But there are others who have been addicted pretty much all their adult lives, and I have yet to try and cure someone who hasn't relapsed. Aurora stimulates the neural circuits in the brain, specifically targeting the neurotransmitter serotonin in the prefrontal cortex. This causes significant sensory hallucinations, both auditory and visual. That's the enticement factor. As you can imagine, this state is highly addictive, and the user gets stuck in a vicious cycle. They need more Aurora to satisfy their cravings. So you're an empath. Very few people have this gift, or curse, depending on how you look at it. There have been some clinical trials on a regimen that can suppress this talent, permanently. It's perfectly safe, assuming you're interested. Take all the time you need. It's a big decision. That would be amazingly helpful. It's a relief to meet someone who gives a damn about anyone other than themselves for a change. Oh, and I'll pay you directly for the supplies, of course. It's the only way I can sneak them past Bayou's people at the spaceport. There's nothing to worry about. As long as packages aren't coming off a commercial vessel, the authorities won't scan them. That's why this has to be done slowly and methodically. If I get too much all at once, they'll catch on to my scheme. I use the proceeds from my paying customers, and by cutting a few expenses here and there, I'm able to use a bit of my own money. It's not a bother, really. The cots here at the facility are actually quite comfortable. Don't worry about me. You just watch yourself. Administrator Bayou doesn't like people that rock the boat, if you catch my meaning. Anyway, I have a contact over at the clinic in the Narian system. Abby Edding? She's one of the nurses there. She'll get you started. Thank you so much for doing this. You have no idea how helpful it'll be for the poor folk that live in Ebside.
Com isso, a gente acaba iniciando aí a sua missão secundária, onde a gente precisa buscar suprimentos ali para ele, certo? Que no caso fica lá em Nário, um sistema que a gente já explorou, certo? E também fica na clínica, né? Que é uma, vamos dizer assim, uma estação ali, né? Médica, tá? Que a gente já veio completar algumas missões aqui e explorar também. Então, bora lá, ó. Nosso objetivo já está aqui na frente.
This place is a far cry from Aquila City. That's for sure. We get the cases no one has ever seen before or doesn't know how to treat. Hey, let's keep our voices down. The clinic doesn't exactly know I'm giving its supplies away. That being said, I've been expecting someone soon. I've heard Bayou really has a vice grip on Neon right now. I have some supplies I can give you. Should be more than enough for now, and it shouldn't draw any suspicion from the clinic. I'll have them loaded onto your ship. What the clinic doesn't know won't hurt them. That's why it's important to keep this as confidential as possible. I'm putting my job on the line to do this, but I know that the people of Neon need help. I'm willing to take the risk and skim a few supplies from the clinic. But if the clinic finds out, then I'm out of a job and Neon is out of supplies. Again. So, let's not be too conspicuous. He's a good friend of mine. We both worked at the same clinic in Aquila City. The work was hard and I was really young and nervous. But he always looked after me during those days and helped me as much as he could. So, to answer your question, I'm doing this because I know for a fact he'd do the same for me. No questions asked. Sorry, I can't do that. This is the most I can give you without drawing suspicion. Yeah, I hope so. I'm trying to be reasonable here. I'd like to think so. Oh, I really shouldn't do this. If the clinic finds out... All right, you win. You're very persuasive. I can throw in a few extra supplies, but I'm not going to make this a regular thing, okay? They'll be loaded onto your ship.
Beleza, e agora é só voltar lá pra Neon, né, no médico, e entregar os itens para ele, tá? Aqui no caso ali a gente conseguiu até uns extras aí, muito bom nessa parte.
Fantastic. That'll really help out around here. Thanks for everything. These supplies will be put to good use. Here, take this. I threw in a bit extra for you, since you really came through for me.
What's happening, darling?
Beleza, né? Então com isso a gente acaba completando a nossa primeira missão desse vídeo aqui, né? Já estamos chegando ali no finalzinho de Neon, pra falar a verdade. E bom, a segunda missão é nessa loja aqui, tá? Que no caso ela é uma atividade inicialmente, tá? Antes de começar a missão. Como que você libera? Cara, ficando um pouquinho em Neon, passando por aqui, dando umas voltas aí, alguém vai comentar um rumor pra você e automaticamente a missão será iniciada, beleza? Então vamos lá.
If we want to find a place to stay while we're here, I've heard that the Hotel Voli is top-notch.
Ridiculous, right? Why would someone
easy.
open a mining supplies
Here to purchase
business
some
on an
mining
ocean
goods?
planet?
Welcome, welcome, my friend.
can't believe
It's been a
this
long
is
time
you.
since I've seen a new
I give it a
face.
few more months before this loser packs it in.
Isn't it obvious, my friend? I sell mining supplies of all shapes and sizes, as well as many, many hard-to-find types of ore. Everything I sell is carefully portioned, securely crated, and ready to be delivered right into the cargo hold of your ship. I'm afraid it is. You see, when I opened this shop, I had grand ambitions of creating a mining supply empire on Volai. Yet here I am, only a few years later, pockets empty, and my business on the verge of closure. It is a sad day. I don't know, my friend. I suppose I would be at Neon's mercy. Just another failed dreamer, walking the streets and living in a sleep crate. That would be a blessing, my friend, but I wouldn't want to impose. Listen to me, my friend. I hear what the people say on the street. They call me crazy for opening a mining business on an ocean world. I was aiming so much higher, hoping to attract these space travelers, passing through the Volai system on their prospecting journeys. It was stupid to assume I could corner the market on mining supplies and raw materials without a solid foundation. And by God, I've paid the price. You would do that for a total stranger? Bless you, my friend. Bless you. I've come up with an idea that I'm hoping will generate a lot of interest in my business, and you were the final element that was missing. If you could bring these flyers to some of the other vendors in Neon, it would explain how we can improve our businesses as a group. Many in Neon keep to their own, and I believe this is why we fail. James Newell and his Merchant Alliance friends are on the right track, but all they do is spend their time complaining, never solving. We must unify, band together, and help each other out. Then, when one of us falls, the others can reach down and help him rise from the dust. In the meantime, we will refer people to each other's shops, perhaps even promote sales together. It would benefit us all. I would be at Neon's mercy, living in a sleep crate. But with your help, perhaps I can avoid such a fate? Wonderful. Simply wonderful. You have no idea the weight you have lifted from my shoulders. I appreciate your help. If there's anything I can do, anything at all, please, let me know. Farewell, my friend. And tell everyone.
Beleza, né? Então agora o nosso objetivo ali praticamente é entregar 5 panfletos aí pela cidade de Neon e principalmente ali, né, são para os comerciantes, tá? E no caso aqui, eu vou colocar apenas as 5 que aceitam mesmo o panfleto, tá? Porque eu fui em todas as lojas e é só 5 mesmo que aceitam, as outras não vão aceitar.
Dietrich's been great at the meetings. Wish he'd stop bringing those dumplings, but Rosa likes them. Much better, thanks for asking. I don't exactly know what you said to Dietrich, but he's certainly turned everything around. He's really stepped up and taken an active role in fighting Neon Security's corruption. He's even organizing the merchants' meetings with me. Best of all, I think we've become good friends, which is a rare thing to come across in this city, I can tell you that. Here, let me see that. Oh, not a bad idea. You might be onto something here. Thanks for bringing this to me.
Beleza, já entregamos o primeiro ali, certo? E também dessa forma a gente economiza aí um pouco de tempo no vídeo, tá? Agora a gente vem para essa loja aqui, uma adega, né? Onde a gente acabou de completar algumas missões para ela no vídeo passado já, certo? Que é uma sequência de missões aqui. Mas uma coisa bem tranquila, vamos conversar com o cara agora.
Pretty amazing stuff.
You're not from INSEC, are you? Whatever, just hand it over. I'll look at it on my own time. Sure you don't want some extra blend for the road?
Beleza, o segundo já foi. Agora a gente vai ali conversar com o terceiro comerciante, que é essa loja de roupas aqui em Neon, tá? ela também irá aceitar, então é uma coisa bem tranquila, só você entrar lá e conversar com o cara que faz parte de algumas missões aí também.
If you don't, I have plenty of supplies for your next expedition in stock. Business could always be better. I'll take that. Thanks for stopping by.
Beleza, agora a gente vai para a entrega do quarto panfleto ali. Fica nessa loja aqui, certo? Uma coisa bem tranquila, porque o dono daqui também já faz parte de missões aqui de Neon, então é bem de boa. Só entrar e conversar com ele.
Now that yes, can I help you? Oh, well, maybe I'll give it some thought. Maybe. Please visit us again if you're in the market for luxury items.
Beleza, e agora a gente vai para a última localização ali da missão, que é no hotel que a gente tem aqui, ó, em Neon, beleza? Só entrar lá também e conversar ali com a dona, que é a própria recepcionista daqui.
Are you here to book a room? Welcome to the Hotel Volai. Are you here to rent a room?
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that our luxury accommodations are more than reasonably priced. We have finally appointed spacious suites, all featuring fantastic amenities. Best of all, each room is security protected with an encrypted password locked door. So, you can rest easy at night. Nope, no catch. My hotel is completely free from administrative influence, so you can rest assured that you'll be actually getting the best value for your credits. Well, almost every business in Neon is subject to ridiculous fees and taxes. They claim that it's because Neon occupies such a prime location, having close proximity to Ryujin and all of the other megacorporations. But I think you and I both know that's not true at all. No miracle, just some good old-fashioned ingenuity. But that's a story for another time. So, can I book you a room for the night? To tell you the truth, not really. And that's one of the consequences with the arrangement between Administrator Bayu and myself. He won't hassle me, but there's nothing I can do about my guests being hassled. The last tenant I had was arrested for spitting on the street. As you can imagine, business is not exactly booming. Luckily, I have more than enough capital to cover my expenses, but it still sucks. You mean the stuff Bayu leaves out of the brochures? Don't mind at all. Oh, you noticed that little thing? Yeah, that's Bayu's crown jewel. First of all, you have the Astral Lounge, flowing with aurora, attracting every tourist within light years of Volai. Then you have exorbitantly priced offices for every megacorp, besides Ryujin, with Xenofresh Fisheries square at the top. And like the cherry at the top of his ego sundae, Bayu's got his private penthouse. I don't even want to think about what goes on up there. Neon has 4 main districts. The ones where Bayu wants you to spend your credits are Bayu Plaza and Ikuchi Market. Those are the glitzy parts of town. Bayu Plaza is the section outside my doors, from the trade tower to the spaceport. Ikuchi Market runs from the Starport terminal to Ryujin Tower. Not quite as glamorous as the plaza, but still expensive. Then there's Upside, running the perimeter of the upper platform. Probably not the best spot for tourists. Finally, you have the Underbelly, the working class's domain under our feet. Not much down there, but industry and a few random shops. No, I don't think so. Upside's filled with a few decent clubs, like Madame Sauvage's place and Euphorica. You should check them out. Just watch your back. It's gang territory, which means Neon security tends to ignore what goes on in there. Most of the underbelly is taken up by Xenofresh and Generdyne's facilities, but there are a few hidden gems you might want to check out. Actually, I'd recommend checking out Off-World Eats. Cosmos and Lee run that place. They're a couple of great guys. Sounds good. Let me know if you need anything else. Maybe after you've rented a room for a few nights, I might let you in on my secret. For now, it'll just have to remain a mystery. Sorry. I just need some time to see if I can trust you. I'm sure you understand. Oh, thanks. I'll definitely give this some thought. It couldn't hurt. I've got one with your name on it. How long are you planning on staying? I love to hear it. Let me know if you need anything.
Beleza, né? Aí aproveitando ali também que eu já estava aqui, falei, mano, vamos alugar ali um quarto aqui em Neon só pra mim ver como é que vai funcionar, tá? Essa parte, né? Aí mostra ali também, ó, uma missão, né? Pra gente dar uma visitada lá no quarto. Fica um objetivo marcado enquanto você tiver com esse quarto alugado. É uma coisa bem interessante aí pra encontrar ele sempre. Aí eu entrei e falei, mano, lugarzinho da hora também. Mas uma coisa bem interessante, vamos dizer assim, né, que eu acabei encontrando aqui dentro, foi uma revista. Aí, ó, com um bônus extra ali também pra gente. Falei, caramba, né, mano, e eu não tinha pegado ainda não. Isso é uma coisa bem legal, que, pô, é um bônus ali, né, fixo para o nosso personagem, certo? E é isso aí, né, agora é só voltar no cara lá e encerrar mais essa missão aqui.
So glad you stopped by today. Ah! Thank you so much, my friend. I believe that this will be a great boon for my business. Thank you for taking the time to do this for me. It is not often to see such kindness here in Neon.
It was good of you to stop by, my friend.
E é isso aí, completamos mais uma missãozinha ali, bora lá ir para a próxima, certo? Que no caso fica também aqui em um dos lados extremos ali de Neon, tá? Que é nesse prédio aqui, e bora lá, certo? Como iniciar, a mesma coisa, você vai andando um pouquinho ali pela cidade, algum NPC vai comentar um rumor com você e a atividade será iniciada automaticamente. Então só ficar dando umas voltas aí, ficar um pouco em Neon, que isso daqui vai iniciar. Esse prédio aqui é aquele prédio que a gente visita lá na história principal também, né? Porque um deles lá é dono corporativo de uma das áreas aqui, bem interessante. E vamos conversar ali com a recepcionista agora para iniciar a história da missão.
Something I can do for you, love? Again? Look, you can tell Mr. Okaribo that I'm doing everything I can. Blood from a stone, if you'll pardon the expression. Oh. I'm afraid I've stepped right into it again. Damn. You aren't here about Mr. Okadibo's debt to Kelkor. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Let me start over. My name's Clover McKenna, but you can call me Chloe. Sorry for me outburst. I'm not sure. I think he's afraid that I won't be here, and he'll have to deal with my father. Someone who has a lot less patience than I do. Just a few weeks ago, he paid some poor fella to come up here and request a bit more time to pay back his debt. That's why I snapped at you like that. I thought he'd done it again. That's kind of you. This mess with Mr. Okadibo over at the Neon Mining League has really thrown me off my game. It's a shop over in Akuchi Market. You know, the plaza next to Ryujin Tower? They sell all sorts of mining supplies and raw materials. It's a fine little shop, well stocked and immaculate. Mr. Okadibo is the owner. He's a lovely, lovely man, but his aspirations are one grav jump longer than his business instincts. If only you knew. Mr. Okadigbo owes a substantial debt to Keldcor. I've given him more than enough time to try and come up with the money, but my father's patience is running out. Frankly, I don't know how much longer I can stall. For now, but let's not mistake my position for what it really is. A test set up by my father. He's set to retire in a few years, and I'm his only next of kin. But I'm guessing he's not sure if I'm ready to take over the company. So he shuttles me out here for two reasons. One, to flash a friendly face for our clients he flies out here as a perk. And two, gets his firebrand of a daughter as far away from him as possible. He's a real piece of work. Because my father has a ridiculous sense of humor, and I can't stand the name Clover. I mean, seriously, Clover? Our family's Irish, for God's sake. I don't think he could have possibly been more on the nose with that name. Ha ha, very funny, Dad. Niall? Oh, he's the CEO of Keltcourt. The whole blessed thing. If you asked him, he'd claim he started the company with next to nothing and built it into a megacorp in under 30 years. Truth is, he tends to forget the multi-million credit trust he tapped into as a crutch. But that's my father for you. We're a tech company that primarily specializes in mining operations. We handle everything from individual standalone units to fully engineered outpost systems. Basically, if it's made of rock, our gear chews it. Might not be as glamorous as some of the other corps in this building, but it pays the bills. You'd be willing to help out. That's awfully kind of you. Just because I work for a megacorp doesn't mean I don't have a heart. Saburo, Mr. Okadigbo, he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, especially in this city. He really needs help, but he's too proud to accept any money from me. Maybe he'd listen to someone like you? That is a rather personal question, and I would prefer we kept things professional, if you don't mind. Oh, that'd be splendid. Just amazing. If you can get his debt off my conscience, I'd be grateful. It's been on my mind so much I've been keeping a diary. And don't worry about payment. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. McKenna always keeps that promise. When he opened the shop, he outfitted it with equipment from our company. Spent a bundle of cash he didn't have. Obviously, business hasn't been going well, because he's fallen way behind on his payments. Opening a mining business on a world almost entirely covered in ocean probably wasn't the most savvy of business plans. I suppose he intended to cater to travelers that were passing through our system. But it's clearly backfired. A poor man. Have a fine day.
Beleza, com isso aqui a gente acaba iniciando mais uma missão ali, né? Então, primeiramente, vamos abrir a aba de missões ali para dar o objetivo aqui também, certo? Temos um opcional que é pegar ali o diário dela, certo? Então, primeiramente, vamos lá fazer essa parte, porque é algo que iremos utilizar aqui para completar a missão também, certo? É bem tranquilo, tá? Não tem problema de você pegar isso daqui, é só vir direto nele e recolher ali o diário. Quem quiser dar uma lida com calma, só pausar o vídeo aí pra entender melhor a situação, porque meio que a gente vai servir de cupido aqui, vamos dizer assim, certo? Então a gente vai levar esse códice aqui, que é o diário dela, e a gente vai visitar o cara lá, né, que é o próprio dono da missão anterior aqui no vídeo. Então a gente vai na lojinha dele e bora continuar mais essa história aqui.
Hello, my friend. I appreciate your kindness. I don't think anyone else in Neon would have helped me hand out those flyers.
Oh, she did. Miss McKenna is very kind, but I cannot accept. It is my responsibility to pay the loan. If I cannot, then what happens, happens.
Things have improved, my friend, thanks to you. But even when business is good, there are still ebbs and flows. The debt, on the other hand, is constant. Really? Let me take a look. Oh, I did not know she felt this way. She is always so professional. I thought she did not like me. That is why I have sent proxies to negotiate my debt. And I like her. Oh, that came out wrong. What I meant to say was, I respect her business acumen. Look at me. My palms are sweating. Regardless, you have done me a service, and for that, I thank you. You can tell Miss McKenna, I mean Chloe, that I accept her offer. I do have feelings for her, and maybe now I will have the courage to tell her. I know they say never to mix business with pleasure, but there are always exceptions.
Come back soon, my friend. It's always a treat to see you.
If you're here to buy, I'm afraid we only sell direct to retailers. Clover McKenna, at your service. That's fantastic! I was worried he'd take it the wrong way, so I'm glad you were able to convince him. I'll arrange for the funds to be transferred immediately. Hopefully Father will forgive the late fees. And if he doesn't, I can always reimburse them when he retires. In any case, thank you. And here, for your efforts.
E com isso a gente acaba completando mais uma missão. E a próxima ali também a mesma coisa dessa daqui. É um rumor que ao você andar pela cidade, alguém vai comentar e a atividade irá iniciar automaticamente, tá? Então é só vir aqui e conversar com ela.
Hello. I'm sorry if I sound rude, but would you mind coming back later? We're actually closed right now. I just forget to pull down the shutters. I'm afraid so, but I don't really want to talk about it right now. Perhaps another time, when I'm feeling up to it. Yes, I suppose keeping it bottled up inside isn't the best idea, now is it? The thing is, well, I lost my husband Thomas last week. He supposedly had a heart attack and fell from the upper platform. Of course, that's the official word from Neon Security. I'm not so sure they're telling me the truth. He was almost 70, but according to Dr. Manning over at Reliant, he was in good health. Heart attack, my eye. There's no way that's what happened. You're damn right I do. How that security officer could stand there and tell me Thomas died of a heart attack. Well, it's a damn lie is what it is. I'm sorry, this is my problem. You're just here to shop, and here I am filling your head with my conspiracy theories. Please forgive me. My husband and I opened the shop about 8 years ago. We were hoping to cater to the workers at Generdyne and Xenofresh. The business has had its ups and downs, but lately our rent has skyrocketed, so we've been forced to raise our prices. Unfortunately, the workers assumed we were becoming greedy, and as a result, we've had a couple of incidents with shoplifting and some vandalism. Honestly, well, I'm just trying to make a living. Oh my, you're the first person in this awful, awful city that's reached out to help me. Thank you. The security officer's report said they never recovered my poor Thomas's body, which means they're only assuming he had a heart attack. But instead of leaving the case open until further evidence has been discovered, they've closed the book. I want to know why. The truth is all I've ever wanted. I suppose the proper place to start would be with Neon Security's witness, Tevin Anastas, that pompous ass over at the Emporium in Neon. Just please be very careful. I don't want to end up with 2 murders on my conscience. Tevin owns the Emporium over in Bayou Plaza. He's a horribly overbearing, pretentious man who wouldn't dare set foot in the underbelly. The strange thing is, we've never had to deal with him in person. Why he'd be involved in Thomas's death is absolutely beyond me. Oh, everyone has problems with Neon Security. They're terribly corrupt, with Administrator Bayou using them as his own personal brute squad. They come in here from time to time, but apart from being forced to give them employee discounts, I've never had anything suspicious happen. Be careful. Neon is a dangerous place.
Beleza, né? Então, iniciamos a sua missão ali. E agora a gente vai conversar com o dono de uma loja que já apareceu aqui também no canal, né? Em relacionado ali a outras missões.
Welcome to the Emporium. I'm not telling you a thing. I've already reported what I saw to security. Stop wasting my time and leave. Your presence is bad for business. You could have just led with that. No need to waste my precious time. I saw it happen. Thomas was murdered and thrown into the ocean. Afterwards, I foolishly reported the incident to security. For my efforts, I was rewarded with a gun to my head and threatened with death if I didn't keep silent. No, the officer that threatened me was completely different. And the murderer wasn't wearing a uniform. I'd wager that the murdering bastard has a friend in security that's covering things up for him. Really? Am I not allowed to leave my own shop now? If you really must know, I was going for a walk. Shocking, I'm sure. Come on. I'm not risking life and limb to save someone I barely know. There are people that get paid to do that. I'm not one of them, so I simply prioritized my own safety and didn't get involved. A lot of good that did me. It was hard to hear over the commotion, but I'm sure I heard Thomas call his attacker Russell and Rusty a few times. From what I could gather, the attacker was after credits, and Thomas refused to give him any. After that, well, Thomas went for a swim. God, no. I've seen him around here and there, but if he ever were to come into my shop, I tell him to leave immediately. In fact, I would never even talk to someone like him. I have no business dealing with petty criminals or Aurora addicts. Where else would someone like him be, He stays at the sleep crates near Madame Sauvage's place. In any case, when you confront him, my name cannot be mentioned. I very much dislike sharing Thomas's briny fate. And with that, I must insist you leave me in peace. That is, of course, unless you'd like to make a hefty purchase.
Beleza, a gente descobriu algumas informações ali e agora a gente só precisa ir no cara conversar diretamente com ele, né? Que é este daqui.
Hey buddy, why don't you throw a few credits my way, huh? Help a guy out. Yeah? End up in the ocean? What the hell are you... Wait. No. He told me that everything was taken care of. No one would know. Listen, you gotta hear me out. I never meant to do anything. It was an accident. A friend. An old buddy in security. But that's all you're getting from me. I'd rather take my chances with you than with him. Why else? I needed some creds for Aurora, and everyone knows he and his wife run that shitty little shop. All they do is rip people off. He was bound to have creds. I got in a fight with Thomas. I asked him for some creds, but the bastard wouldn't give me anything. Things got out of hand. He ended up falling off the upper platform. It was an accident, I swear. Then I called my buddy in security and told him what happened. He took care of everything after that. Shit, I know. I never wanted things to end up like that. For the love of God, I didn't even get any creds off of it. Listen, I messed up, I know that. But nothing can change what's already done. Just let me go and I'll disappear forever. No one will ever see me again. No one even needs to know I'm alive. Just... Come on, just let me go. Oh my God. You don't need to worry. No one will ever see me again. I swear it.
Claramente, na escolha, você tem ali opções, tá? A que eu escolhi é deixar o cara sumir daqui, porém você tem a opção de matar ele também, que é a escolha e critério de cada um.
Thomas didn't die of a heart attack. That's a total lie. Oh, yes. Hello. Please, tell me everything you know. I want to hear it all. I knew it. I just knew that I was being fed lies. Nothing added up right from the start. Neon security. How can they sleep at night and act like my husband's life wasn't worth anything? My husband's killer. Did you find him? What happened to him? Rusty. I believe he was one of the Generdyne workers that would come around and cause trouble. Steal things, vandalize, or the like. They were a rowdy bunch. My husband usually handled the troublemakers and became well acquainted with Rusty and his so-called friends. Vandalism and shoplifting is one thing, but murder? I just never thought things could go this far. So, what did you do with Rusty? Well, I guess I don't much care for what you did with him, as long as he paid for what he did. And about security, did you find out which officer is behind the cover-up? It's for the best, I suppose. Going after security is suicide for us both. Knowing the truth is vindication enough. In a weird way, I'm... relieved? No, that's not the right word. I guess I'm just glad that I know the truth, even if it won't bring my husband back to me. I never would have figured out the truth without you. I have credits for you here. Oh, you're so sweet. In any case, please know how grateful I am that you helped me. You're the only person to ever show kindness to me in this city. And now that I know the truth, I can try to focus on healing. Thank you for everything, from both myself and Thomas.
Beleza, com isso a gente encerra a missão. Também tínhamos ali duas opções no final, né? Aceitar a recompensa ou recusar a recompensa ali, que no caso se recusar você ganha 2 vezes mais experiência ali também, né? E agora a gente veio para Astral aqui, certo? Mesma coisa, é uma atividade que será iniciada só de você ficar andando ali pela cidade de Neon. Algum NPC aleatório vai comentar e você irá iniciar ela, beleza? Então, como padrãozinho, a gente precisa entrar lá na localização e encontrar ali, né, o personagem que irá iniciar a missão, tá? Primeiramente, vamos entrar no lugar para ver quem é ele primeiro, né? Ah, ó, tá lá em cima, beleza.
Hi, having fun?
Yes, what is it? It's the world's most exotic accident. They found the drug in the fish oil, of all things. But oil is an old story, one of grease and flame. The grease turns the wheels of commerce, and the flame attracts the moths. So be careful walking these streets, my delicate little insect. Venture too close, and you'll burn your wings. I'm in town for business. My client leaves a mess, I clean it up. I'm an independent contractor, working for some very wealthy clients. They open deals, I close them. There might be. I originally came here to complete a business deal, but the client, in a fit of foolishness, decided to close on their own. Rather than dispose of the evidence properly, they left it in a warehouse. Real amateur stuff. So there are some loose ends that need tying, and I prefer a third party handle it. Would you be interested? It's a simple job. I need you to pick something up and sell it. Giving you any more information would be unwise. Cheers. We'll split my rate 50-50. For a job like this, I'm being more than generous. You'll find the merchandise in a locker in the warehouse behind Neon Tactical. Gangs in Ibside often use that area to peddle their sunshine and lollipops, so if shit's puckaroo, you'll have to improvise. Once you secure the merchandise, sell it to Coleman Lang at the Trade Authority, so it's part of their regular inventory. Return here when the job is done.
Bom, o objetivo da missão, pelo menos ele é bem simples. A gente precisa ir numa localização específica, pegar o material ali, certo? Que é essa mercadoria. É o Armazém 3, uma área que a gente já veio, já enfrentou uns inimigos aqui dentro e também passamos aqui por uma missão, tá? Tanto que um dos personagens da missão ali tá aqui, certo? Que é um dos guardas aqui, chefe de Neon. E é isso aí, o objetivo tá lá na parte de cima. Pelo menos a gente não vai ter inimigos para enfrentar, então não vai ter uma necessidade assim grande de ficar perdendo tanto tempo aqui dentro. A gente fez a missão basicamente esses dias aqui. O item tá aqui no fundo, a gente pega ele e agora precisa levar lá na autoridade comercial aqui em Neon para se livrar dele, tá? Uma coisa bem simples aí também de fazer e bora lá.
Need something? Yeah? Buying, selling, or moving? Yeah? Well, then let me spell it out for you. You either walked into the TA to buy some goods, sell some goods, or have some liberated goods taken off your hands for a reasonable price. So, instead of wasting my time making me explain how the business world works, let's get a move on. Now that's what I'm talking about. We both want to make some money, so what'll it be? Well, first of all, the outpost in Neon is hardly anything to be worried about. They have, what, like 4 men covering the entire city? Come on! And even if one of them got, I don't know, suddenly ambitious and put the heat on us, well, there are 2 ways to solve that problem. One way is to leave an unattended cred stick on the counter. The other is to give Sayoka a call. Either way, it's business for us as usual. Not a bad gun. Good balance, weight. Allied Armaments is a UC company, but their stuff is military grade. But that is not the issue here. That gun is hotter than a frying pan full of fish grease. I'm not giving you anywhere near market rate. Ha! Should have known better than to try and fool a weapons expert. All right, I'll pay you what it's worth. But only because I know for a fact NSEC won't come looking for it. You done here? Time to move on.
They say for every 5 credits Benjamin Bayou spent on Neon, 4 went to the Astral Lounge. Some find Aurora heightens the senses. I prefer to sharpen them.
Need another hit of Aurora?
Then my client can finally relax. He's a very tense man, you see. Tried to smile once, years ago, and didn't like the fit. But I digress. Here's your payment, as promised. Enjoy the rest of your time here in Neon. Yes, but I never work with the same client twice. Call it a personal role.
Beleza, com isso a gente completou mais uma missão. E agora também, para encerrar com as missões aqui de Neon, pelo menos as secundárias, né? No caso, a gente volta ali pra indústria Ryujin, tá? A gente vai ter uma secundária dentro dela, mano. Que não faz parte ali, pelo menos, das missões principais dela, né? É na área de operações ali, né? Sem querer eu fui ali pro escritório executivo e errei o caminho. Que beleza, hein? Mas tá bom, né? A gente precisa procurar por um cara que ele vai estar mais ou menos ali perto do escritório da mina lá da indústria Ryujin, né? Que é a nossa chefe de missões ali, ó. Que é ela ali, ó. Então o cara tá sentado aqui, bora lá.
What is it? You're interrupting me. Is this time accounted for? We're on a strict schedule. I just want to make sure this impromptu meeting is properly tracked. I doubt that. I check my schedule regularly, and this conversation was not on the budget. If time is money, then suffice to say Ms. Serrano would not be pleased with such a frivolous expenditure. Ms. Yuko Serrano? Senior Operations Specialist at Ryujin Industries? She's one of the heads of the department you're standing in. She might disagree, but fine. Let's leave her out of it. And since you clearly have bandwidth to spare, maybe you can help me clean up a, minor indiscretion. We're each assigned shifts to assist operatives, ensuring coverage at all hours. Personally, I like to keep my circadian rhythms intact. Early to rise, early to bed, as nature intended. I'm not at liberty to say. I will remind you of another common phrase, loose lips sink ships. So, be cautious around the office and discuss intel at your peril. Contractually, yes, but I'd rather avoid the embarrassment. Normally, I do a good job of setting boundaries between work and life. This incident is an exception. Good. Let me give you some background. Recently, I've been assisting the impoverished in both Ebbside and the Underbelly. I pay for the occasional meal, clinic visit, or comfort. But I may have lost a slate in the process. I need you to locate and retrieve it for me. Pre-assignment intel for one of our operatives. The contents themselves aren't too sensitive, so if you're thinking of betraying me, they aren't worth much as leverage. My sloppiness is simply an embarrassment that I'd like to correct. It's not a matter of trust, but one of time. I have little to spare. You do not. Then we have an agreement. Good. Go to the Underbelly and talk to the panhandler Huang. Discarded items are her specialty, so she may have come across the slate herself. If you can manage to find it, bring it back to me, and I will pay you for the time. Perhaps I can best explain with an analogy. There is an aquatic species on Volai Epsilon, which, by cruel irony or test of metal, hatches on dry land. Only 1 in 10,000 make it to adulthood. Most are eaten, some simply die in the crawl to the ocean. Meanwhile, there is a similar species that is born in the water itself. They never make this journey and thus never know its hardship. Which begs the question, is that fair? In the natural world, I'd agree, but here, we can make a change. I know what you're thinking, and I am not what you'd call a bleeding heart. Moreover, I find the underbelly filthy and unsanitary. But I also believe in equity. I am well aware that my life came with a head start, so I try my best to balance the equation and bring the hatchlings to the water. I don't wish to speak ill of them, of course. It's not their fault, just a fact. But as much as I dislike the underbelly, I will say this. It is a welcome change of pace. When you spend all day keeping secrets, a burden is placed on one's conscience. The time I spend volunteering sheds some of that weight. Until next time.
Beleza, então a missão foi iniciada, a gente vai ter uma localização para ir e um códice ali para encontrar.
If you got any spare creds, I can always take them off your hands. Hey Chief, you got any creds you can spare? Thank you kindly. You're a class bass, you know that? I'll do my best to someday pay you back. Street's honor. This isn't a donation, it's an investment. Presently, no. Pastly, no. Futurely, it's a work in progress. Depends on how this fiscal quarter goes. But it's gonna take a lot for me to upgrade. I found a primo spot next to the trawl store. I got a roof over my head and all the garbage I can eat. I can't eat everything they throw out, but I can eat enough. About 6 years. I bet you could tell by how good I am at it. It took a lot of practice, and some work on my messaging. But if you got any feedback, Chief, I'd love to hear it. I don't know. You can learn something from just about anyone. But I did put you on the spot, so no biggie. You want to know the trade secrets, huh? I don't blame you. It's a lot like real estate. Location and timing are big. You gotta be visible, but not so much that people call the guards. Oh, I totally did. Found it in the dumpster right next to a half-eaten chunk. And it was perfect timing, really. You see, the other day, the wind got a nasty cough and blew away all of my business spreadsheets. That won't happen with this slate. It's like wind resistant. I do. I write them on napkins you get from the eateries, and I use sauce packets for ink. It's not a perfect system, but it's pretty damn close. That would mean I don't have to start over. All right, deal. I lost them near the employee break area. Look for any papers near the ground, the tables, maybe even the roof. You find all 3 spreadsheets, and I'll give you the slate.
Beleza, então meio que uma mão lava a outra ali, certo? Bora lá, na localização não fica muito longe dela ali. Então a gente só precisa encontrar ali as 3 planilhas dela. A parte boa é que todas ficam marcadas ali no mapa, então não é uma coisa tão complicada de você acabar encontrando, né? Porque se tivesse que procurar, aí sim nós ia estar na bosta, né? É o resumo da história. Uma delas a gente já encontrou. A outra está nessa geladeira aqui. E agora é só subir ali na estrutura que está na parte de cima, né? E aí pegando a última ali também, é só voltar nela pra continuar a missão.
Got any cred? Hey, it's my favorite customer. Got any more creds to spare? Wow, that's real class of you, Chief. A+ stuff. Now I can get my books sorted, executive style. As promised, your slate. Tell your techie friend I didn't peek inside. And even if I did, I don't know what half of it says anyway.
As technicians, we handle prep and post-op work. Beginnings and ends, as it were. There's always work to be done. Pace yourself, but make it a fast one. Well done. It seems assigning you to this task was time well spent. And as I said when we met, time is money. Hopefully these credits will serve as adequate compensation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an operative to debrief.
Beleza, pessoal, e com isso a gente acaba encerrando ali as missões secundárias aqui de Neon, né? Então o próximo vídeo ali eu já vou partir pra gente só fazer a parte da exploração desse sistema inteiro e já partir pra outro ali também, seguindo em frente com as missões aí e a exploração do game. Se gostou, deixa o like, se inscreva no canal. Valeu, falou!